Imagine standing before the creator of the universe, the one who holds the heavens and earth in his hands. What would you offer him? What is the most sincere way to seek his favor? The last verse of Surah Al Kahf provides the answer to these profound questions, reminding us that the essence of our existence is not in grand gestures, but in the purity of our worship and the sincerity of our actions. In a world where distractions and temptations often pull us away from the straight path, this verse serves as a compass, guiding us back to the core of our relationship with Allah. It tells us that true worship is not about outward appearances or the approval of others, but about striving to please Allah alone, with the purest intentions. Let's delve deeper into the profound wisdom of Surah Al Kahf, verse 110, and explore the essence of worship that Allah demands from us. The last verse of Surah Al Kahf reads,
قل إنما أنا بشر مثلكم يوحى إلي أنما إلهكم إله واحد فمن كان يرجو لقاء ربه فليعمل عملا صالحا ولا يشرك بعبادة ربه أحدا.
Say, I am only a man like you, to whom it has been revealed that your God is one God. So whoever hopes to meet his Lord should do righteous deeds and not associate anyone in the worship of his Lord. 18:110. Unpacking the message. This verse is a commandment that emphasizes the core principle of Islamic monotheism, or Tawheed. The verse begins with the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, asserting his humanity. I am only a man like you. This serves to remind us that the Prophet, though the final messenger, was not divine. He was a human being just like the rest of us, with the same responsibilities towards worship and submission to Allah. The purpose of this is to underscore the fact that the message of Islam, including the worship of the one true God, is universal and not limited to any special class of people. It is a message meant for every human being, regardless of status or background. Next, the verse emphasizes the singularity of Allah, stating that the God to worship is one, Allah. This is a reaffirmation of Tawheed, the foundation of the Islamic faith. When we say, La ilaha illallah, there is no God but Allah, we are acknowledging that Allah is the only deity worthy of worship, and nothing and no one else should take precedence in our hearts or actions. The call for righteous deeds. The verse then moves to a critical point. The one who hopes to meet his Lord should do righteous deeds. Here, Allah is encouraging us to live lives of sincerity and integrity. The actions we undertake in this world should be done in accordance with His guidance, and they should be aimed at His pleasure alone. The key phrase here is righteous deeds. These are actions that are in line with Allah's commandments, actions that reflect our sincerity in submitting to His will. But how do we ensure our deeds are righteous? The role of sincerity, ikhlas, in worship. The essence of worship lies in the sincerity with which we perform our deeds. Sincerity, known as ikhlas, is the heart of all acts of devotion and is central to how Allah measures our actions. Allah commands us to perform all of our deeds, whether they are acts of worship, kindness, or any other good actions, solely for His pleasure, free from any expectation of worldly rewards or recognition. A powerful narration from Sayyidina Abdullah ibn Abbas, reported by Imam Hakim in Al-Mustadrak, sheds light on this concept. The narration mentions a Muslim who used to engage in jihad for the sake of Allah, but alongside his struggle, he had a desire for the recognition and praise of others. Allah revealed this verse in response, warning that such a mixed intention would make his actions useless. His jihad, though outwardly for Allah's sake, was affected by a selfish motive, and hence, he would receive no reward for it. Similarly, Ibn Abi Hatim and Ibn Abi al-Dunya have narrated from Tawus, a respected scholar of the Tabi'un, who mentions that a person said before the Holy Prophet, "There are occasions when I am ready to worship or to do some righteous deed. My aim thereby is nothing but the pleasure of Allah. But along with it, I do have the wish that people would see me doing it. The Prophet, peace be upon him, remained silent until this verse was revealed. This silence of the Prophet, peace be upon him, was not mere inaction. It was a powerful response. It serves as a grave warning to us all. By remaining silent until the verse was revealed, the Prophet emphasized the seriousness of this issue. He wanted to remind us that the slightest hint of riyah, the desire for recognition, or the pursuit of fame, can turn our deeds into nothingness. The Prophet's silence wasn't indifference. It was a clear indication that we must rid our hearts of such corrupt intentions before we approach Allah with our worship. It is a reminder that without sincerity, even the most righteous acts can be rendered useless. Hidden shirk, riyah. Hidden shirk, or riyah, refers to the subtle act of showing off in the worship of Allah or performing good deeds with the intention of gaining praise or recognition from others. It is the most dangerous form of shirk because it is often unnoticed, and the person performing the action may believe they are doing it solely for Allah. In another narration from Sayyidina Ibn Abbas, may Allah be pleased with him, reported in the works of Abu Nu'aym and Ibn Asakir, it is stated that the companion Sayyidina Jundub ibn Zuhair, may Allah be pleased with him, would feel pleased and encouraged when others admired his acts of worship. This admiration motivated him to do more good deeds. Upon witnessing this behavior, Allah revealed this verse, highlighting that such acts, even though done outwardly for Allah, are spoiled by the desire for fame or recognition. This form of hidden shirk is incredibly dangerous because it undermines the purity of the deed. When we perform a righteous act but secretly desire to be praised, our intention is not truly aligned with seeking Allah's pleasure. Instead, we are seeking the validation of others. Such actions not only lose their reward, but can be harmful to our spiritual growth. However, there are some narrations that suggest there can be instances where a person's actions are not considered riyah. Tirmidhi reports a hadith from Sayyidina Abu Huraira, may Allah be pleased with him, where he expressed that he felt pleased when someone saw him praying and wondered if this would count as riyah. The Prophet Muhammad reassured him, saying, "You will receive 2 rewards, one for the private deed and one for the public act." This demonstrates that there is no fault in being seen performing a righteous act if it was initially done for the sake of Allah. The key difference here is the absence of a desire for praise or recognition. Thus, the distinction between sincerity and showing off lies in the heart's intention. If the act is done for Allah alone, and the observation by others doesn't alter the intention or increase the desire for recognition, then it does not fall under riyah. But if the desire for recognition or fame overtakes the intention to please Allah, then it becomes a form of hidden shirk, making the deed ineffective and even harmful. The great scholar Ibn al-Qayyim, may Allah be pleased with him, beautifully explains that the true believer seeks to maintain purity in his worship, ensuring that everything he does, be it private or public, is for the sake of Allah alone. In the sight of Allah, the intention is what matters most. The rewards of sincerity. When we purify our actions and make them for Allah alone, we achieve a profound closeness to Him. Our actions are no longer tainted by the desires of the dunya, worldly life, and we attain a state of ikhlas, absolute sincerity. This sincerity not only elevates the value of our deeds in the eyes of Allah, but also leads to a sense of inner peace and contentment that cannot be attained through mere worldly approval. Furthermore, when we practice sincerity, Allah, in His mercy, rewards us in ways beyond our imagination. As the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, said in a famous hadith, Allah does not look at your appearance or wealth, but He looks at your hearts and your deeds. Sahih Muslim. Conclusion. This last verse of Surah Al Kahf, therefore, serves as both a reminder and a warning. It calls us to focus on the purity of our intentions and the sincerity of our worship. Allah's message is clear. If we hope to meet Him, our deeds must be righteous and free from any form of association with others in His worship. We must strive to ensure that our actions are done solely for His pleasure and not for any worldly gain or recognition. Let us reflect on this verse in our daily lives and strive to embody its wisdom by performing our deeds with sincerity, maintaining a humble heart, and never losing sight of the One who created us for the sole purpose of worshiping Him. May Allah grant us the strength to purify our intentions and to perform deeds that are solely for His sake. Ameen. As we strive for sincerity in our worship and actions, let us remember that every small step we take for the sake of Allah brings us closer to Him and rewards us beyond measure. If this message has inspired you today, don't keep it to yourself. Share it with those who need to hear it. And if you haven't already, make sure to like, share, and subscribe to our channel so we can continue spreading beneficial knowledge together. Stay committed, stay sincere, and may Allah bless all of us with the strength to stay true to Him. May Allah reward you with goodness for watching. And until next time, stay inspired.